welcome to the Fan John and John Gardner Low. Good afternoon, folks.
Hi.
Hi there.
Nice to
How
be
you all doing?
back.
Well, welcome back to Fredericksburg.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you're being from Montana, Livingston, Montana, to be exact. Is that correct?
That's right, Livingston, Montana.
And about where is that compared to the larger cities of what folks know?
Well, Livingston's about 50 miles straight north of Yellowstone Park, maybe 25 miles east of Bozeman.
Okay. And you've got quite accolades there, Montana, my friend.
Huh.
You've got the 2024 Montana Governor's Award. Just name a few. Tell us a little bit about that and everything.
Well, that was pretty cool. They give it out every 2 years, and it's given to anybody in the arts. So there were 5 of us that got it. It's the highest accolade that the state gives to anybody that works in the arts. So when I got it, there was another musician. There was a sculptor guy, a friend of ours that has become a friend of ours actually, that makes giant, big, full-size metal sculptures. A Blackfoot woman that does a lot of beadwork, and a painter from Helena. So there's a big ceremony at the Capitol building in Helena, and the lieutenant governor was there, and she awarded everybody their awards, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, he got a little medallion that's got a little velvet thing around it, so he could wear it around, but he never wears it around.
Look, it's like an Olympic medal or
Oh,
something.
Yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Your own gold medal, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, John, you teach guitar and songwriting. So, what do you teach when you teach somebody the song? What is the lesson you give for songwriting?
Well, you can't just songwriting's a thing. It's an art and a skill, but you can't tell someone this is how you write a great song. It's just because if there was a way to do it, everybody would be doing it. So what I do is just different exercises and just try this. How about this? Well, maybe this will unlock your creativity. How about finding a melody by using this technique? And I find that sending people off for an hour together or singly to write a song using some sort of hook that I've given them or a melody that I've given them, come back and with a verse and a chorus about my dog died, written to the tune of "Walking the Floor Over You," that kind of thing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you guys were at Lone Star Cowboy Poetry Gathering in Bastrop.
Yeah,
3 days ago. Tell us a little bit about that.
that was fun. There was about 34 different performers, and over 3 days, and they had venues all over Bastrop, 4 different venues, and we saw a lot of old friends there and made some new ones. And
Yep, it's our 4th year of going to that, but it's been in Alpine for years.
Yeah.
And this year there was a problem with available hotel rooms in Alpine. So they decided to branch out, and it just so turned out that the weekend that Bastrop was available was the only weekend that Alpine could do a little event, so they did 2 in 2 different places the same weekend. So
Well, that's awesome.
every cowboy poet and musician was playing in either Bastrop or Alpine that weekend. It was really fun.
And Joanne, I understand you've been singing for over 40 years now?
I have been singing for a really long time. But I got away from it for a while, and now I'm really happily back in it. Sort of retired and enjoying traveling around with John.
And what female singers have influenced you?
Well, I have an alto voice, which is on the lower end. Soprano would be a higher end voice.
Yeah.
So when you think about an alto voice, that might be like Karen Carpenter, Mama Cass Elliott. Those voices are just a little bit lower. Kathy Mattea.
Kathy Rain, yeah.
Right, and so those are the singers that I like to listen to. Some of those girls that can growl a little bit.
Well, why don't you guys growl for us? We all want to play for us.
well, I thought we'd play a brand new song that we're putting on a new record that we're making. It's called "The Print Behind the Bar," and a little bit of the backstory of it. There's a famous Montana painter who lived in the late 1800s, very early 20th century, named Charlie Russell, who painted a painting called "A Bronc to Breakfast," and it's a painting of a cowboy trying to stay on top of a bronc that's bucking right through a cow camp, and his bucking right through the campfire and spilling the Dutch oven and the coffee pots, and everybody's running for cover. And this is a story about an old man that comes into a bar, sees that painting, a print of that painting on the wall, and he knew some of the guys in that painting, which is true.
Wow. Okay.
Charlie Russell painted people that he knew in the paintings. So
Awesome.
so this is a brand new song. It's called "The Print Behind the Bar." It was kind of slow that afternoon in 1954. I was wiping off the bar top when he shuffled through the door. Montana in those younger days could still be pretty wild. And here came an old-time cowboy. He pulled up a stool and he smiled as he sipped his beer with hands made up of calluses and scars. His aging eyes soon settled on a print behind the bar. It was a painting of a breakfast ruined by a bucking steed. While cowboys whooped and scattered, he said, "Can I see that, please?" After handing him the little print, I stood there just waiting. He finally spoke and said, "I knew the man in this here painting. Though it seems like only yesterday I'm the last one left alive from that morning up by Martinsdale in 1885. You see, that's old Doc Nelson on the bronc, barely 19 years. George Cannon's on the wagon wheel 'cause the action got too near. And there's Steve Cooper by the cook, Sim Roberts standing round. And the painter put himself in here, that's Charlie on the ground." Well, the old man looked my way and softly asked me for a pen. He wrote those names down on the print, he drained his glass, and then he sat there with his mind adrift, reliving all those years, and came back to the present, and he thanked me for the beer. He said, "You know my parts are gone now, and so's the life we live. There's no more open range, and I've got nothing left to give. But now you know those cowboys' names, they won't be lost to time. They'll be just like you see them here, cowpunchers in their prime." Well, he tipped his hat and then he left, but I never got his name. By now he's branding mavericks up on heaven's golden range. But I see that brought to breakfast painting every now and then, and it sets my mind to dreaming how it must have been back then. 'Cause I can see Doc Nelson on the bronc, barely 19 years. George Cannon's on the wagon wheel 'cause the action got too near. And there's Steve Cooper by the cook, Sim Roberts standing round. And the painter put himself in there, that's Charlie on the ground.
That is good.
That's a cool song. People
Poor
can look
Charlie.
up that painting, just called "Bronc to Breakfast."
Hey, this is it here. You showed me how.
Yeah,
The writer in back here looks to me like John Wayne.
I know, isn't that funny? But that's, yeah. John researched all of these names, so they are absolutely historically accurate.
Yeah.
So-
And where it happened, those cowboys were working for the Two Dot outfit up by, based out of the Judith Basin in central Montana, and that happened down by Martinsdale, which isn't too far from where we live.
Now, do you ride yourself, John?
I used to cowboy when I was a younger man.
So there's going to be interesting, you guys might be interested in this, a Fredericksburg connection to this song on the new album. This is going to be, I think, the title track of the new album, which is a duet record that John and I are making. And we are actually headed out to take a picture of an old cowboy at Bankersmith soon.
Okay.
And
great.
the old cowboy is going to be Doc Blakely.
Awesome.
So everybody in town knows Doc, and he matches the age that this fellow would have been in 1954.
Yeah.
So Doc will be the cover boy
Well, I know
on
Doc
this
well.
new record.
Doc's a member of the church I go to. Me and my wife go to Lowell SD Church. Doc's a member there.
Oh, great.
So
Well,
there's
yes, and
somebody,
we love Doc and Pat and
Mike,
Mike and
everybody.
the whole gang.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a lead vocal yourself on any of these?
I do.
Not on that record you have there.
Not on that record you've got, but we've got one that we could do live if
We'd
you.
love to have you do
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
What song do you
This
do?
track is called "Faraway Skies," and this is one of the few songs that John didn't write on this new record that we've got coming out. He won Songwriter of the Year 2 years ago, but we found this song. He found it actually, and we just like it so much that we thought, well, we got to do it because it's just a cool song.
What's
It's
the
written
name of it?
by a guy named Dean Johnson who lives in the Seattle area.
And what's the name of the song?
Faraway Skies.
Faraway Sky. Okay.
It goes like this.
You wouldn't know by looking at me. I am a cowboy, my friend. I'm forever out riding on the range in my mind, dreaming away all of my time. Cattle calls and canyon walls, the jangle of spurs. At the light of dawn, put the saddle on, start moving the herd. The distant horizons are a glorious sight, and there's getting lost in the Milky Way at night. I hear the ring of the shoes on my trusty horse blue. I've got a 6-shooter too. I've got an old Stetson hat and a shaggy mustache. Yes, I'm at home on the range. Tumbleweed and buffalo, the rivers run wild. Sunset over rolling hills, the ghost rider sky. A campfire song has me feeling just right, and there's getting lost in the Milky Way tonight. Down on the sidewalk, life passes me by. I've grown too slow for these times, but now you'll be knowing when you look in my
listen to that, you know, I'm thinking, picturing this scene around a campfire.
Uh-huh.
You know, the fire's burning, drinking the coffee, and
Yeah.
you know, strumming guitar to the sunset, and you know.
Absolutely, and hoping that no bronc comes riding through.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty song, isn't
It's
it?
beautiful. And John, what songwriters and artists have influenced you?
Oh man, boy, there's so many of them. Daryl Scott, Tim O'Brien. I get inspired just by just about anybody that I hear. We were in Bastrop, and I was listening to a performance by these guys, and they had this song that just had the coolest groove, and so I thought, I recorded a little bit on my phone, and it's a really horrible recording, but it was enough to give me a sense of what that groove was like, and so I'm working on a song now that has that
Your own groove, huh?
same kind of groove.
Awesome, man. And now your band's called Cane River?
Oh, that's an old band. That was an old bluegrass band that I played in. That a 5-piece touring band. That's been quite a while ago. That was cool. We had 4 songwriters and 3 lead singers in that band. It was a pretty powerful band.
And what band do you have now?
This one that you're talking to.
It's us.
It's
Yeah,
you, huh?
we're touring around as John and Joanne Lowell. Yeah.
Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
You know, and your harmonies are perfect. You know. You
Oh,
can-
thank you. We work hard on those. Yeah.
See,
And
it-
John's got a show coming up with Mike Blakely at the Western Edge.
Okay.
We'll be there. I'll probably jump up and sing a song too on St. Patrick's Day. So you better wear some green and show up at the Western Edge.
Almost definitely.
Yeah.
It's on a Tuesday.
And,
Yeah.
and on the 14th, I'm playing
right.
with Susan Gibson, a great songwriter from Wimberley.
Yeah.
Um,
We play a lot of Susan Gibson here.
yeah, Susan and I are doing a show at the church at Waring.
Which will be a great gig. That's going to be really fun. And what else do we got? There's some shows in Austin. There's a show at the New World Deli. There's a show in Elgin, which I've been corrected on how to say. Now I think I have it properly.
How were you saying it? Do you think?
I was saying Elgin.
Yeah.
Like,
There is an Elgin, but this
This is Elgin. So
like Illinois.
exactly, I got that straightened out. And we're actually really enjoying hanging out with friends and playing music in the backyard. And,
Yeah.
because that's what Fredericksburg is so full of, such great, talented songwriters. We love coming here and hanging out with them.
Yeah. Well, you know, in San Antonio, they call it Bear County. Originally, like during the days of the Alamo era, it was actually pronounced Behar,
Oh, really?
but they changed it throughout the years to Bear County.
Oh, I have driven through that county and said it wrong. So thank you for saving
Well,
me.
BXAR, but it's pronounced Bear here.
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
Bear.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
originally was pronounced Behar. You know?
Yeah.
But you never know. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Do you want to do another song from your current CD or something?
What would we do?
Well, we could do something from that one. We
Yeah.
could do, we've done,
Now, this is Snow in the Wine Glass. Where can folks get the CD at?
You can get it off my website, johnlowell.com. The best place if you're a streaming kind of person is a place called Bandcamp, and there's a lot of musicians that are putting their music on Bandcamp. I took all of mine off of Spotify and Pandora because they build empires on the backs of musicians and don't pay them anything.
right. CEOs make billions of dollars and the musicians don't make anything. So Bandcamp is a lot more of a fair way. You still get the
Yeah.
quality music, but the Bandcamp pays the artists a lot better. We could do Skalk.
Yeah, good.
This is a wacky song for anybody who's ever been to Montana. This is an actual road in Montana, and it's called the Skalkaho Road, which is just a,
What makes it so unique?
well,
Well, it's only open when they never plow it.
Oh, okay.
It's dirt.
it goes over a mountain pass.
Yeah.
And heading towards it, it's sort of like, oh, well, this is a nice road. What's all the hubbub about? And then you get to the top, and the terrain changes. It's Continental Divide, and it is down. It's
Yeah.
carved out of the side of a mountain. It's only 1.5 lanes. It's not paved. There's no guardrails.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just like death-defying. So, so this song. Well, tell them about how you wrote this song.
Well, I just kind of like the word Skalkaho. And but I used to spend a lot of time 2 weeks out of every year over in the Fort Davis country playing at a deer camp, and at night, our duties were the guy and me were we were responsible for just playing music around the campfire, which was pretty easy. But we had our days to ourselves, and so I'd always spend them trying to write songs. And so that has really nothing to do with this song,
Okay.
but that's the backstory. And I just like the word Skalkaho. I tried to write this to sound like an old folk song.
It sounds like a Native American, you know.
Yeah, it does sound like it might be,
Yeah.
but
I think it must be.
it runs from roughly Phillipsburg, Montana, over the Sapphire Mountains down and drops down into Hamilton.
Okay.
So you'll hear the name Hamilton mentioned, and there's also a place called Lowell, and there's the Lowell Trail that Lewis and Clark roughly followed when they went over the Bitterroot Mountains, and so if you hear that, that's what that's all about. It's a place called Lowell. So anyway, here's the Skalkaho Road. Pack up your wagon and get ready to go. The sun's coming up, don't be moving so slow. The sky's clouding over and it's fixing to snow as we head down the Skalkaho Road. Bushels of beans and a keg full of nails, powder, lead, and a packet of mail. A box full of horseshoes, a barrel of ale, all bound for the Skalkaho Road. Hey ho boys, we're on our way, and 18 miles yet to cover today. 4 yoke of oxen and a heavy load, bound for the Skalkaho, the Skalkaho Road. I'm the best darn bull whacker you can believe. I can drive these mountains with the greatest of ease. Pull into Hamilton as slick as you please, coming down up the Skalkaho Road. Well, the trail through Lowell is easy and wide, but it's a long way around once you cross the divide. I could save 2 weeks, but it's a hell of a ride, coming down up the Skalkaho Road. Hey ho boys, we're on our way, 18 miles yet to cover today. 4 yoke of oxen and a heavy load, bound for the Skalkaho, the Skalkaho Road. And say ho boys, we're on our way, 18 miles yet to cover today. 4 yoke of oxen and a heavy load, bound for the Skalkaho, for the Skalkaho Road.
Well, I'd like to be in that road. Or maybe not.
As long as your brakes work. It's a
Oh, yeah.
great road.
Is it like cliffs on one side, or is it just drop offs on each side, or something like that?
No, just on one side.
Yeah, just a
That's enough.
cliff on one side that they cut the road out of, and then just drop off
wow.
on the other side. So it's a nail biter for sure.
Yeah, especially when you encounter a car coming the other way.
Yeah, just pull, you squeeze right by.
Exactly.
Well, you guys have, and you know, I learned that you guys have been able to share a stage with the likes of Rodney Crowell, Vince Gill, Emmylou Harris.
Yeah.
I love Emmylou Harris. What was that like playing with her and others, big artists like that?
It was terrific. She's just as lovely as you would hope. I've known her for probably 35 years,
Wow.
and she's just down to earth. You know, first thing we do is get together and talk about our kids and dogs and all that sort of thing. So she's certainly not fussy. She'd just fit into any kind of situation. She's lovely.
Just saying with Vincent and Rodney, huh?
I did. I managed Rodney for several years, and so sang on the road with Rodney for a long time. And so, and Vince shows up an awful lot with Rodney, so got to sing with Vince, which is really fun because he's just such a fabulous singer.
Rodney
And he's getting a lot of press too, because now, you know, he's gotten, you know, from country to rock, playing with the Eagles.
That's right, right.
and
But
everything,
such
so
a
versatile.
nice man. Just a lovely guy.
And he's married to Amy Grant, right?
Yep.
Yeah. gospel singer Amy Grant. Yeah.
And she's just also really fabulous. So, yep. Yes, I have been very lucky to meet wonderful people, and with almost all exceptions, they're all nice. There are a few exceptions, but that's for a different day.
Okay. How about you, John? What you feel the same, huh?
That you
With-
perform with different folks
Oh,
along
yeah.
the way, all over
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, the people that I have performed with are probably not as well known as these guys like Vince Gill and Emmylou Harris, but they are fantastic musicians and are actually, you know, my heroes.
I understand you've been able to go to UK, the US, and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's it like in the UK and Canada to teach and play your music?
Canada's fine. It's just like northern U.S. or you know, Montana's like southern Alberta. It's we have a lot of friends up in Canada, but I go to the UK. Well, I'll be there twice this year, and Europe too. I go to Europe once a year for about 2 weeks. I play in a trio with a German bass player and an Italian mandolin player.
Wow.
And we only play 2 weeks out of the year, and so I go over there and we spend like 3 days woodshedding, try to remember what the songs were and get up new ones worked up, and then we hit the road and we hit it pretty hard. But the UK thing is, I've taught at a school called Sore Fingers over there about 8 or 9 times, and it's a week-long music school. And I have 2 daughters, and they both live over there. So,
Wow.
so it gives me an excuse to go over and see them.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to, we've got a group of friends that are all coming along on a musical tour of Ireland that we do at the end of April. And that's going to be an 8-day musical tour of the west coast of Ireland. And we either have Irish musicians come in to perform for us each night, or we go into the pubs and perform with Irish musicians. So guitar players are coming along with us, mandolin players are coming along, and we're just going to have a great time.
You guys lead the boring life.
I know we are. We have decided to go ahead and have some fun.
Yeah.
Hey man, you only live once, you know.
That's right.
Yep. Life's an adventure, and we have one.
Well, you want to do an adventure, another song, maybe after your upcoming new one that you're all working on right now?
Well, we could do Richmond.
Sure.
Tell us a little about Richmond.
Well, Richmond is a song that I wrote a long time ago and recorded with that band you were mentioning, Canes River. And I'm a history aficionado, and especially of the Old West, and specifically of Old West Montana. And this is a song that is about a guy, it's sung from the point of view of a guy writing a letter back home to his mother. He's been out west trying to seek his fortune after the Civil War in the gold fields, and hasn't had any luck, and so he's coming home to her, to Richmond. And this is a story song.
Okay.
My dearest mother, I know it's been years since I sent you a letter to quiet your fears for the fate of your son on the lawless frontier, and to ask if you're well there in Richmond. When I came west at the end of the war, a man could get wealthy digging for ore, so I worked on a mining claim 2 years and 4, but I never got much for my trouble. So tell the girls of the county to tin up their hair, start making the pretty gowns they want to wear to the ball that
just a month, maybe two, and upon our return, I will come back to you in the beautiful hills around Richmond. So tell the girls of the county to pin up their hair, start making the pretty gowns they want to wear to the ball that we'll throw just as soon as I'm there. For I want to come back home to Richmond, to the ball that we'll throw just as soon as I'm there. For I want to come back home to Richmond.
I like that. That is awesome.
Isn't that a pretty one?
Well, if you're a history buff, I worked at the Alamo a number of years ago as a historian, and Friday is the 190th anniversary of the Alamo.
Oh.
And 2 days I'm going to be giving a narrative about the battle on Friday afternoon.
Great.
You know, because when I worked there, I got to do that, so I'm going to be doing that here live on the air.
Oh, that's very
We'll
cool.
tune in.
So
Yeah.
tune in for that.
We
We
will.
want to thank you guys for coming in. You know, tell everybody the shoot's going to be the 17th. Going to be at West Ridge, right?
Right.
Right.
Where are you going to be before that? Any place locally
The
here?
church at Waring on the 14th with Susan Gibson.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, those are the next two things coming up in this area. And then we've got some shows in Austin and a show in Elgin.
Oh, he's-
And then a show in Anna and then Panhandle. So like we were heading home at that point. We start heading north.
Yeah,
you
we'll
guys must like Texas, huh?
Well,
I'm glad you all like Texas.
it's fun for us to come back every March.
we've made a lot of friends down here, and normally in Montana the snow's feet deep and it's really cold. Right now the weather's about like it is here,
Almost.
and when the snow is deep and it's cold and there's not a whole lot going on because the interstates are shut down half the time because trucks are jackknifed and you kind of take your life in your hands going out a lot of times.
And they don't have bluebonnets on the side of the road in Montana.
That we got in Texas.
That's right. That's right. We saw some yesterday.
It's getting that time of year.
Yeah, it
you know.
is. It is.
So-
Thanks so much for
Well,
having
thanks
us.
for, we always have love having, I want to thank Daniel for setting up this interview with you guys. And it's always, we always love, have live music here on the Fan.
Great. Happy to be
We
here.
are Texas Rebel Radio. It's going to leave you with off your latest CD. Folks, one more time where folks can get to your album.
JohnLowell.com. That's JohnLowell.com, or Bandcamp.com. Just go to Bandcamp.com and type my name into the search bar. It'll come up. Probably my last 4 records are on there, and but you'd be surprised how many of your favorite musicians are on there. Type anybody's name in the search bar.
Okay.
And if you're gonna stream their music, do it there.
Sounds good. I'm leaving you with the Pride of the Trail, Old Schultz, on your CD, and that is Snow on the Wine Glass. Everybody, that is John and Joanne Gardner Lowell. Thanks for coming into the Fan.
Thank you.
Thank
again.
you.